All right. I will call this meeting to order. Thank you all for coming. Roll call, please.
Dr. Buckley?
Here.
Mrs. Pinkstop? Here. Mrs. Tom? Here. Mr. Sharp?
Here.
Mrs. Young? Here.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item for tonight is to approve the agenda as presented. There are no amendments or anything, so is there a motion to approve the agenda? Susan moves, Misty seconds, any discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Young?
Yes.
Mrs. Pinkstop?
Yes.
Dr. Buckley? Mrs. Tom?
Yes.
Mr. Sharp?
Yes. And on to communications portion, public participation. Emma, covering everything.
All right, so I'm doing the student liaison report and then also the FFA report after this. We've been very busy, so I will be honest, this is a bit of a long report. So I'll start with academics and instruction K through 12. So in the primary, last week was Kindness Week. That was district-wide, but in the primary specifically, they collected 1,300 items, and the district as a whole collected over 3,000 items. And then during the Veterans Day Assembly, the attention and focus of the primary students was superb, as reported by the principal. And then also, at the end of semester assessments begin soon, the staff is excited to see the fruits of their labor in starting new academic initiatives. The display cases of the primary will be filled with the prizes for the Aces Way PBIS drawing of orange tickets in December. And then tomorrow is Literacy Game Night, which will commence as an exciting academic event. Overall, the students have been working very hard in the primary and putting in great effort. Moving on to the elementary, teachers have begun their Tier 2 in order to provide targeted support to students in need. This initiative will meet students where they are and get them to where they need to be. Content vocabulary, reading fluency, and math fluency are the academic non-negotiables as the foundation of Tier 2. Additionally, the teacher started tracking students' 20 minutes of reading practice and 10 minutes of math practice every day. A calendar has been created for students and parents to track their progress in reading and math also. The elementary PTO is hosting their annual Secret Santa event also and are looking for volunteers from high school students and organizations such as NHS, FFA, and sports. So to wrap that up, sort of some upcoming events for the elementary. November 20th is Literacy Night. December 12th is when STAR testing begins. And December 19th is the elementary Christmas parties in the 5th grade in Sinatra. In the middle school, 7th grader Maddox Perry won the middle school poetry contest for Veterans Day, so he was not there to present his poem, unfortunately, but his poem, My Veteran, was selected to be read at the celebration. Additionally, Eva Stroke, Cam Walters, and Ellie Stewart shared what freedom meant to them at the assembly. The October Aces of the Month were James Earps, Paxton Poole, Bentley Sanders, and Tony Carr. And then an exciting event coming up for the middle school is their school dance this Friday. And then in high school, we also participated in Kindness Week and we had daily themes. And then the honor roll has returned with students being sorted into groups based upon their GPA. So the groups are highest, high, and honor roll. And then those who achieve this are on display in the TVs in the cafeteria. And then also in the past month, we've had an internet safety presentation for the high school emphasizing the importance of staying safe online. And then the food drive is still going on in the high school classrooms, and students are encouraged to bring non-perishable food items to their homeroom. Moving on to student life and extracurriculars. So for our athletics, our winter sports are starting to kick off, and many of our fall sports teams are wrapping up with their end-of-year banquets. So the varsity girls basketball team has their season opener this Saturday at home against Lakewood. The varsity boys basketball team has their season opener tomorrow at Vernon Union, and the varsity wrestling team supposedly has their first meet tonight. No one could entirely confirm that. So I want to wish good luck to all of our winter athletes as their sports season begins. And then as for our student body and our clubs, in regards to music, this past weekend, several students from our high school band were selected to play in the Capital University Honor Band Fest This was a 2-day event where students had to audition, learn music, and then perform at a concert. Along with that, members from the high school band and choir performed at the Veterans Day Assembly. And then finally, our band and choir is staying very busy as they prepare for their winter concerts. The drama club just voted also on what play they want to act out this year, and that will be released very soon for the 2025-2026 school year. Along with that, the National Honor Society is participating in the Wounded Warrior Project. So each NHS member was required to pick an errand, essentially, that they will complete for someone in the school district, and then the person who bought their errand will pay their money directly to the Wounded Warrior Project. And along with that, juniors and seniors looking to join NHS will start applying within the next few months. And then the Student Council is also looking to plan an upcoming winter formal dance. In regards to community participation and culture, over the last few weeks, many of the sophomores here at Amanda-Clearcreek have visited the Eastland and Fairfield Career Center as potential educational options for junior and senior year. And then with all of these events happening, it's safe to say that our community and culture has been thriving. And on behalf of the student body, I want to thank the school board and administration for making all of these things possible. I will now do my FFA report. Okay. So as president of the FFA chapter, I am here to report on some of the things we've had happening over the past month. So since the last board meeting, several of our members have competed in the county and district job interview contest. Riley Strickler, McKenna Singleton, and myself all won at the district level, resulting in us all advancing to the state preliminary round, which is this weekend, Saturday, November 22nd. This is a virtual round. And then additionally, we have a very successful national convention this year. We took over 20 members, and our students went on various tours and attended multiple sessions at convention. Along with that, we had a lot of success from several members. Morgan Anderson, who is a former graduate of AC and a past national officer, hosted FFA Live during convention week and was part of the broadcasting team at National FFA. Hannah Som, also a former graduate of AC, spent her week at convention competing for the title of national officer for the 2025-2026 year. I want to recognize Hannah for making it to the final round of this process, making her one out of 22 FFA members competing to be a national officer. She had to go through a lengthy application process and numerous workshops. And then finally, I competed in the Prepared Public Speaking Contest at National Convention, where I placed 5th overall in the nation and received a gold rating on my speech about solar farms. So overall, we had a great year at the convention and represented our school very well at the national level. And then with that said, we also hosted State Officer Leadership Night last week here at Amanda. We had over 300 FFA members from Central Ohio turn out to this event, and it was great just getting to meet new people and be with the State Officer team. And then finally, our fall fruit and snack sale has officially wrapped up, and we've ordered all of our items. So for anyone who ordered anything from the FFA, that will be coming in December 15th, I believe. So once again, I want to thank the school board and administration for making all of these things possible. Sorry, I talked really fast.
Excellent job.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
See you guys next month.
Thanks a lot. All right, the Curriculum Council report.
Curriculum Council was just ahead of this meeting tonight. Had a lot of really nice presentations. Workforce Development Center got an update on that program, and it's a joint program between OUL, Hocking, the county commissioner, and some local businesses. It is in a way kind of hyper-focused on some very specific needs within the community as it relates to workforce development. We had a nice presentation from one of the students, Bree Riley, who is in phlebotomy over there, and will come out with a certificate on the back end of that training and essentially be ready immediately for the workforce. There's some partnerships in a pre-apprenticeship type manner with Claypool Electric as an example, getting kids immediately transitioned and put right into the workforce, ready to go. And it's different than the Career Center. I think that was a key distinction that I didn't realize, that this is focused in a slightly different way. We talked a little bit about the Credit Flex program. Hayden Dunn, who one of our students gave a presentation on his ability to go take an auctioneering course during the school year with the help of Mr. Dennis to be able to go for a total of, I think it was a 10-day course, he said, but it was 7 days out of school. And so to be able to be out, take the course, get his certification, he'll take his test for certification once he turns 18. But pretty neat the way we could be flexible within the school curriculum to get him that. Eli Moss gave us a presentation on the IT career tech pathway. That's really a 6 through 12 pathway. Scott Isles has come in to really, in a really nice way, I think, backfill some gaps that we had in our technology curriculum with things like computer science, web design, even going as far as computer repair and getting these kids ready for jobs, essentially. Talked a little bit about Middle School Career Day, which will be May 11th, and updates on career exploration, multiple professionals coming in, the real money, real world, I get that right? Okay. That the 8th graders are participating in, and how they can go bankrupt really quickly if they choose to fund their cell phones before they fund their food allowance. Talked about career readiness and that component of the statewide report card, and essentially understanding the reporting and what's required, essentially being able to report the correct data in the correct time at the correct, get it all. You gotta know what your test you're taking is about. And then have some curriculum updates, departmental updates. Anything that's
No, other than just, even from the primary to the elementary and middle school, they are doing something that's pertaining to kind of workforce
Yeah.
things. Even at the little level, they've got them in like little dress up where they can do lab coats and pretend to be a vet or chefs or whatever. So they've got career things all the way down to.
I think it's important to note that those were developed by our Career Center. So they're out on loan, so working, their Career Center looks at where they need to be and then how they can tailor that down to even the primary level. Thank you both. Student achievement.
It's minimal. It's almost a repeat of what was last month. It's again just a study about test scores pre-pandemic. What this latest study showed is basically math and reading grades 3 through 8 continue to struggle, and scores are they still haven't reached 2019 level for the tests and stuff.
All right, legislative.
So I attended, along with a few others in the room, the OSBA annual conference Monday and Tuesday of this week. I represented the district at our as a delegate in the OSBA platform meeting. They actually put out the platform, and if they have any proposed changes, the entire delegation votes on those. I think that the platform that OSBA has fairly represents Amanda-Clearcreek. There are statewide organization that lobbies with the state and says this is what we want. One of the additions this year was focused on local control. They want to make sure that the State House understands that school districts want to maintain our local control. That was one afternoon, and then I attended many other sessions, but I attended this session presented by Howard Fleeter. He's the economist he advises basically the State House and everybody up there on how the impacts of changes to especially the tax implications. And nobody knows what the State House is going to do. He has been advising them and saying, he has all these analogies, like if they do some of these things, one of them was, it's like an asteroid is going to hit if they pass everything that they have proposed. He's out there trying to get it through to people, the impact. They understand that property taxes are an issue, but there are ways to address those without being detrimental to the schools. As far as anything passing, there's been nothing significant passed yet. There's just a lot of proposals, a lot of committee meetings. You know, it's on the 4th read, it's on the 5th read, but there's been nothing definite.
Right. Thank you. Principals. Maybe didn't steal your thunder too much.
So I'll start first with preschool. It's pretty simple right now. Our preschool teachers have completed their fall early learning assessment, which is a step up to quality piece that we go doing this. Teachers have to, they had training on how to rate their students on various different levels. And so then we'll take it again in the spring. So the teachers have completed that. They've completed their first community field trip outside of Amanda, which they went to the Circleville Bounce House today to work on gross motor communication, because communication is a big focus this school year. So I really, emphasize with the teachers, make sure we're bouncing more, hey, you want to be my friend, you want to do this or that, and just kind of trying to bring that communication skill in and hone in on it. And then our pre-K team will be hosting their Friendsgiving on Tuesday, and we'll be focusing on communication skills with friends and family. The families will be coming in and having that piece, and it's a community outreach piece that we offer for them for Step Up to Quality.
Slide through the primary. So we are really excited for our literacy game night tomorrow. So if anybody wants to come out, you'll see people all over the campus playing board games. The easiest way for a kid to be engaged is by playing a game. There's so many skills that can be learned by just doing that. And oftentimes we don't do that enough. So it's exciting. They're going to have games that they get to take with us, prizes to be raffled off. We'll also be hosting dinner from 5 to 5:30. So please feel free to come and join us if you're interested. Our overall attendance right now at the primary continues to be right around the 96-97%. Our ACES Way, our mid-year drawing will be coming up soon, just right after Thanksgiving. We kind of fill the case with different prizes. We're excited to announce that we received the bronze recognition from the Department of Education and Workforce for our 2024 and 2025 school year for PBIS. Our PBIS team has worked really hard in the primary, so we're excited to continue to grow and maybe even go for the silver this year. So we'll see if we can incorporate enough on that tier 2 as well. But our staff is really excited to dig more into that tier 2 piece of PBIS. So our AC students district-wide brought in plenty of food for Kindness Week for Blessings in a Backpack, approximately 3,000 food items. I just want to note 50 students at the primary and elementary benefit from our Blessings in a Backpack. Every Friday, a bag goes home with them discreetly in their backpack. It's snacks that they can eat, and they don't need an adult. They don't need a microwave. It's something that they just have access to. We know food insecurity is a real thing, and it's right here around us. So we're excited that we're able to be a part of that program. Chelsea's Christmas collection. I have the winners. I'm waiting for the overall total, but I know they were really happy with everything that was brought in today or this year. So first place for our kindergarten was Miss Pugh's class with 117 pounds and 2 ounces of coins. Second place was Mrs. Satterfield's class, first grade, with 116 pounds and 4 ounces of coins. And then third place was Mrs. Sauer's class in second grade, 112 pounds and 11 ounces. So they were super excited. And again, just giving back to the community. Our students are so wonderful, and our community members are so giving. We're looking forward to those mid-year assessments to celebrate growth, make adjustments, and just continue to provide support for our students. So it's hard to believe that Thanksgiving is next week. It's just been the blink of an eye. Heading over to the elementary.
So we just wanted to send our thanks to our PTO. They worked really hard. We have our book fair, which was really successful. We were able to kind of bank the money, and we'll be providing some free books to some students that weren't able to purchase any. So we're very thankful for that. We had our Veterans Day Assembly, also very successful. Kindness Week. So we have a lot of really fun things happening. We should be receiving our 3rd grade OST scores in December. We're hoping in December. And we'll be starting our reading and math STAR assessments. The students will also be taking their Restart Readiness assessments, which are practice state tests. They'll have to actually go in and put testing tickets in. It's like an official test. So we're going to be looking at that data and analyzing it in our TBTs and regrouping Tier 2. That was talked about what we were doing with our bubble kids and our enrichment students. So we want to make sure that we're providing intervention and enrichment to those students in the specific areas that they need it.
At the middle school, I'm going to provide some data regarding Q1. Since we're actively in Q2, I don't have these numbers yet until we complete the quarter. But for Q1, we had a total of 345 students. And of those 345 students, we had 224 who were on track. So we consider them no risk. So what we're looking at is discipline, attendance, and course failures. 85 students who are minimal risk, 29 students who were moderate risk, and 7 students who were extreme risk. So the 7 students who are extreme risk triggered for discipline, they triggered for attendance, and then they triggered for course failures. So failing multiple courses has either received an in-school restriction or an out-of-school suspension, and most likely out-of-school suspension, which has also played a part in their attendance. As far as behavior, again, this is holistically at the middle school. We have 314 students who were on track and 31 students who were off track. So we have 31 students who received either an ISR or an OSS, so out of school suspension or in school restriction. For course failures, we had 265 students who were on track, meaning we had 265 students who had no course failures, and then 80 students who were off track. So 80 students ranging from 1 to 4 course failures. And we're looking at the 4 core classes, so English, math, social studies, and science. As far as attendance, we had 292 students on track, so that's looking at our 90% goal, and 53 students who were off track. So each week, I share the weekly announcements with you in your school email, but I look at it every Friday with attendance and run an attendance report. So I'm just going to share just what this past Friday was. Our attendance has dipped at the middle school, and I look at it weekly. So I have it in my own spreadsheet, and I'm looking to kind of talk about a couple of things that I'm noticing. But for 6th grade, we are below, every grade is below the 90% goal right now. In 6th grade, we're right at 89%. And we have 19.7 students below benchmark. So that's approximately 25 students in the 6th grade, which is about 115 students in that class. So about 25 students who are below the 90% average. In 7th grade, they're low. We're at approximately 82% average as far as attendance goes, and 28.9%, which is approximately 23 students who are off track, or below the 90%. And then in 8th grade, we're at 83.9, so 84% average, and then 22% below benchmark, which is approximately 22 students. One thing that I noticed is our attendance dipped the week of parent-teacher conferences. So we had several that were off that Monday. So I don't know if it was because no school on Tuesday, and a lot of them took a long weekend, and families traveled because they weren't here on that Monday, and then kids weren't here Tuesday. But it's something that I'm looking at weekly. And then just this past week, we had, again, a slight attendance drop just from the week before. So looking at it week to week is interesting to see where we're, and I'd like to look at it what's it called, when you're gathering data, year to year. So is this consistent year to year as we continue on, because it's something that is important to know where we've dropped attendance as far as attendance goes. One thing that it won't be at the next board meeting, but the January board meeting, I'll come back with data regarding our tier 3 instruction and tier 2 instruction for reading. So we do have students in tier 3 instruction for our foundations of reading courses, and they're using the phonics for reading program. And then we have students in tier 2 instruction who are getting support. So the idea of that class is they're being introduced to vocabulary that they're going to see in their tier 1 class. So everybody's in tier 1. So instead of going in and reading a short story blindly for the first time, or a poem the first time, that teacher is able to read it with them. They're able to introduce vocabulary, do some different things with that. So when they go into their tier 1 class, it comes a little more easily, rather than sitting there and being completely lost for some of them. So where our students will take STAR at the beginning of December, and we'll look at that in comparison to their baseline score in August, and then they're going to reassess in phonics for reading. So hopefully we have some shifts with the phonics for reading. We have some students moving up in the groups and graduating from the program. So I'll come back, like I said, in January with that data to show how many students we had initially in those courses to where we're at this semester.
I won't repeat all that because it's the same thing. We are often seeing the same two levels of courses for reading improvement. And we'll come back with that same stuff in in January. We'll come back. When she mentioned, Ms. Cocker mentioned attendance, looking at those trends across our calendar. Are there places in our calendar where that is helping or not helping our attendance? And that's a conversation we had today at our administrative meeting. Looking at how our calendar is arranged. Are we setting ourselves up in some cases to have people take off 2 days over Christmas break or whatever it might be? Just if we could look at those and think, okay, a logical, reasonable family might take these days off and go somewhere. So then we rearrange our calendar a little bit, maybe to help prevent that and keep our attendance where it needs to be. The same kind of trend. We're going through the second quarter here. We have slight decreases in each grade level. We are maintaining a 91% attendance rate on average at the high school at the moment into the second quarter. Academically, we're still seeing the same kind of trend. There's some struggles in some common areas that are being brought up and talked about in grade level meetings. But freshmen and sophomores are looking at science and social as their 2 week areas that are kind of raising some concern. Juniors and seniors are in the math and ELA place. So that's fueling some of our grade level conversations and see how those are working out. So the key takeaways is attendance is dipping slightly. Seniors actually gone up a little bit. All grade levels are remaining above that 90% threshold at the moment. And we are right now, quarter 2 courses in the failure range are less than quarter 1. So that has gone down, but we are working on that. Behaviorally, it's been a little bit of uptick over the last 4 weeks. We've been very busy with our code of conduct violations and things. And it's like, I'm not sure if it's full moons and holidays or what it might be, but there's something in the water lately that's kind of increased our activity. It's just all over. It's not one thing in particular. It's just all over. It's all over the board. Yeah. So it's typical second quarter for that to come up, and then we see a little bit of a drop in the third quarter. As long as that history maintains, will be good. So that's us.
So I know my time has already passed, but I do want to circle back real quick. How many students do we have district-wide, Dr. Edwards? Not to put you on
A little under 1,500.
About 1,500. So it was the first time we've ever done something district-wide since I've been here at AC. And we held our Veterans Day. and it was phenomenal. Our students did us proud. When there was moments to be dead silent, all 1,500 kids in there were silent, from the preschoolers all the way up to the 12th graders. I think that says a lot about our kids and our community, but it was very impressive across the board. So everybody that was there, it was really cool to see them all. And I think we're going to look to do some more district-wide things. But it was pretty awesome. Like I said, when we have 3-year-olds there and they're just as silent for the playing of cats as our 12th graders, it's pretty awesome. So it was.
I had
very
a
cool.
1971 graduate of Amanda-Clearcreek contact me on the following Monday and said his grandchildren go to a different school, and they had an okay assembly, he said, and he heard about what we did here with the entire pre-K through 12, and he says, how do I get involved in that? How do I come? And so I've got your name, got your number, we'll invite you to come down next year. So he's gonna skip his grandkids' school down here.
You should bring his grandkids with
And I also forgot to mention our attendance percentage is at about 96%. So at the elementary.
Yeah, but you're paying.
With candy. It still works.
All right, thank you all, appreciate that. A blessing to the bag.
Very
Eye
awesome.
opening, but awesome at the same time. So, thank you all.
Ready for me?
Is it 26, 27 calendar that?
No.
Okay,
That's
so
what
that's
we're-
what you were.
we were getting input today, and then I will share that with Lisa as well, with some feedback. Have a final by January.
Okay, thank you.
A few things, just going back for superintendent's report, a reminder, working through that strategic change agenda process, or our strategic plan. There's the discovery phase, which was when we brought in a core group of people to kind of work through that, various stakeholders, anywhere from students to staff to board members to community members to parents. Extended discovery, that was 2 days where the Schleife Center partnered with us and came in and did, they had conversations, kind of small group conversations, had conversations with, again, community members, lots of students. We offered a day where teachers were able to come in. We offered them lunch, and they were able to kind of have a conversation over lunch. And then, again, some additional parents. We just recently met on the 13th and 14th to go over the analyzing data. So, you know, we have all of this, majority of this anecdotal data, but really looking at what kind of themes are coming through. Our next steps will be goal setting January 8th. We will bring that initial discovery team back together and say, okay, these are the things that we've noticed or we see. These are the goals that we think that the direction we need to go, and then kind of throw that back out to that core group again and say, you know, were we hearing what you were saying to begin with, and sharing that information with them. And then again, we're on track to present to the board kind of our findings and things like that by the March agenda. Here you can see in November, we met together with our facilitator and had conversations around what we were seeing in that data. Again, within that process, that was primarily our administrative team in analyzing that data. But again, we included students in that process. So we had, I think, 5 students at the table, representative from various grade levels. And, you know, as Sandy says a lot of times, our facilitators, she says, the students will keep you honest. So it was great to hear that voice of what their input was through the process as well. Here you can see kind of analyzing and going through some of those themes and pulling some of that information together. Again, looking through, you know, we have 2 things we focused on. One, images of schools. So what is the image of schools from anywhere from our students to our parents to our teachers, principals, district office staff, all the way across. So what do they see? You can see still left up on the walls here some of the images of the schools, and ultimately we want to be up to a learning organization. We know that all the work that we do can't be at the top for a learning organization, but we strive to constantly try to get back up there through our various roles. And then you can look at the 10 different standards, and it's kind of the keyhole is engagement. So constantly going back into student voice, student engagement, and making sure that's who we're serving. So constantly going back to that as our main focus. As a couple people had mentioned, I do want to again bring up, we partnered again with Big Mama, which is Jessie Weinberger. She works with our students and with our parents on internet safety. We brought her in 2 years ago, I think it was. She works with grades 3 through 12. So she meets with each individual grade level, one at a time, and she tailors her presentation and the conversations to that particular grade level. Because it's a different conversation with a 3rd grader than a 12th grader. But really having real conversations about being aware of what you're doing, what you're sharing, who you're talking with, and knowing what information you're putting out there whatever your internet-based conversation activity is. She is coming back on November 24th from 6 to 8. One thing that I think is so neat with her presentation is she gives data based upon our students. So she's able to look, and sometimes we may say, oh, I have a 3rd grader. I don't have a phone yet. They don't have these accounts. And I think you'll be amazed at whenever she says, how many of you have this account? And the hands go up everywhere. Okay, do you realize that these are the things that you need to be careful of? If you notice on the advertisement up there, it's parents and adults only at the family night. So that internet safety night is parents and adults only, because she is going to be telling parents and adults the nitty-gritty of what you really need to be aware of, why you need to be aware of it, what to watch for. So she's been doing this for a long time. One of the comments that I heard last year from some of our parents was, I didn't really understand what it was, and I wish I would have come. So this is, I guess, my advertisement and my plea that this is really a good educational piece for parents to understand what's happening. Also, you don't have to be a parent of one of our students. If you come and you're a grandparent, an aunt, an uncle, or whatever, if you're involved in the life of a child, and knowing what's going on through the cyber world, I think it'll be a great learning experience. If you notice that she met, and whenever she meets with each grade level individually. So on the day that she worked with middle school, it was all the 6th graders one time, then all the 7th graders, then all the 8th graders. She'll be coming back on the day on the 24th and work with our 3rd through 5th graders, because that day had to be rescheduled. But again, I think that the parent night is an eye-opening experience. The last piece is a reminder that our ribbon cutting is exciting times. Ribbon cutting is this Saturday. We will be at 3 o'clock. We would like to invite all of the community. We pushed it out on social media and emailed out to our constant contact e-blast, but we're excited about ribbon cutting of all of our facilities. I think one thing that people are sometimes amazed is how much room, how much space was put into the addition at the primary. It's blended in so well that people are like, oh, wow, that's up there. I didn't realize you put that in. It's just because it seamlessly works into the previous structures very well. And I think this Bigley is.
I'm very, very, very pleased. It's 10 times better than the modular.
But it's a beautiful space, and it ties things together, and it serves our students well, I think.
It does.
So again, that ribbon cutting is going to be on Saturday, starting at 3 o'clock, and we hope to have everyone there to celebrate this proud time for Amanda-Clearcreek.
I have a question. I saw on social media, Facebook, I believe, we were advertising that there was a soccer league going to go in there, and it was open to Amanda students and non-Amanda students. It was going to be in the new facility. And I know in the past we've had trouble getting our Biddy kids scheduled, so I'm just wondering, are the Amanda Biddy basketballs, are those all being able to be scheduled around this soccer league that's coming in?
Mr. Williams and I have worked with, he has pushed out schedules with the BIDI. And actually we just met again with them last week on formalizing their processes a little bit more with some different components. But yes, we are working to ensure that one, our BIDI programs, Amanda-Clearcreek BIDI programs do have gym space and gym time. Also prioritizing so that our students are able to get out 8:30 at the latest, that everything is shut down and out. So yes, we're working to do that.
With the open house, are we gonna, what's the plan now? Are they walking around to the other facilities?
So we will start down at the field house, and that's where the ceremony will be and things like that. And then we'll have an opportunity for people to walk to the different spaces, whether it's the baseball, softball building, walk throughout the field house, and then go in through the 77 lobby over to the primary edition. I think it'll be exciting. I know you guys are planning on being there to have your rooms open.
Yes.
So that people can tour those spaces and experience that.
So they'll all be open.
They'll all be open,
So we can just
and
walk
we will
and check it
have one of the bus vans there available if people have, need assistance in getting from place to place. We wanted to see everything, so we'll have that available too.
But we assemble in the field, inside the field house to start, or we're doing
Outside,
outside.
outside unless weather
Right.
changes.
Okay.
But right now we'll be outside, just kind of in front where the entrance is to the team room.
Yep.
So in between the restrooms and the concession, kind of in that area, we'll gather in that general area to start the ceremony.
The weather looks pretty good for Saturday.
So far, so good.
I mean, relatively.
It's November.
70 and 50 is, all right.
Pretty good
Yeah,
for November.
pretty good for
It's July.
Uh,
She was playing Rutgers, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One final thing, I just received a text from Mr. Williams, actually just a few minutes ago. The Central District Athletic Board did approve our transfer. So we're one step further to moving into Southeast District. Southeast has not taken official action yet, but the approval for Southeast District means that we're one step closer. So
And that would start next
that would start, yes,
school.
26.
26, 27.
All right. Anybody else have anything? All right, well then, thank you. We'll move on to consent agenda number 1, which includes accepting minutes from the previous meeting, approving the substitute list as presented by the Fairfield County and Pickaway County ESCs, accepting donations from the AC Athletic Boosters, from an anonymous donation from my church, the Heidelberg Church, for the FFA, because they came and did work on our disability ramp in the back, and they were going to do it for free, and we said, we're going to donate you some money then, because you did a great job. So anyways, the Hostler Trust, Schweitzer Engineering Laboratories and Tim Cordell, also for an FFA memorial account. So lots of good donations there, and some with substantial numbers. So very much appreciate those donations. Also accepting, like I said,
Grant.
yeah, accepting that grant for ruling our experiences. So for $1,000. Is there a motion to accept consent agenda number 1? Mr. Move. 30 seconds. Any discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Hinesville.
Yes.
Dr. Buckley.
Yes.
Mrs. Psalm.
Yes.
Mrs. Young.
Yes.
Mr. Sharp.
Yes. All right. That rolls us into treasurer recommendations.
The treasurer's report starts on page 12 in your packet. In the month of October, we did receive the quarterly income tax collections, also our state foundation and investment earnings, of course. Our revenue will show on your report that it is down about $406,000, but that was due to us receiving the state reimbursement last year in October. We received it in September of this year, so we received it earlier. Interest earnings for the month was $114,000,
And this also includes our COPS investments of $59,669. To date, we have received $1,364,000 in interest. This will probably be next month. It'll be very minimal because we have pretty much paid for the buildings at this point. If you turn to your cash summary, I'm sorry. Yeah, your cash summary report, which starts on page 3. Okay. You can see that in the 004 fund, there's $500,000 left in that account. So when we're finished with this project, whatever money's left over, and there will be some left over in that fund, will be interest, and that will be transferred out, but that's what's left of the original amount, just so you know. So halfway down the page under Fund 004, if you follow that across, you'll see we started the year with about 6 million, and we're down to 559,000. So only a couple payouts, small payouts left, and they should be completed. We still do have retainage because there is some things being finished, and we'll hold on to that until that's completed. So if you go to the cash reconciliation, which is the next item, is the funds in both Red Tree and K&B that we held for the construction of those have been dissolved, and the last of our money for construction is in Star, Ohio. So on page 30 is a cash reconciliation, which actually gives us every account that we have. So where the money actually is, and you'll see that there is $20 left in the construction account for Red Tree, but that's just until that can be closed down. And then the Star Ohio construction has about $1.7 million. And the reason the 004 fund doesn't match that number is because the Star Ohio still has interest in it. So that money will also be then transferred out of, we'll shut down the construction account for Star Ohio, but I'll close that account, and that'll be moved into our regular Star Ohio account. That makes sense, once we're finished. But that'll happen in the next few months, and then I'll point that out in each of our financial things so you can see that money move from one account to the other. So if you ever have any questions about that, let me know, and I give you some more information. Our expenditures for the month of October were $3,111,927, and we wrote checks in the amount of $5,866,591. Again, that's from all funds, so that includes the construction, which is why that's so high. Once we're finished with construction, we'll see that get back down to 2 million, 3 million, what we're kind of used to seeing, so that's why that's high now. We did make the interest and principal payments for COPS 23 and 24. Those are actually paid out because they're COPS, certificate of participation. Those have to go to the bank a month earlier, so they're actually due a month earlier than when they're actually paid out because they then have to distribute those funds. So those were paid in October. We will pay in November, so this month, the lease purchase agreement. And they're not considered debt, they're current expenses for school districts. However, they are commonly known as debt. They're paid twice a year. In December, we pay principal and interest, and then in June, we only pay interest, which is how schools pay. I don't know why, but that's how we do it. And so we did have retirement incentives, and our severance for our retiring employees were paid in October. This will account for the increase in salaries. We did have more than normal retire because of the SDRS reducing the years of service and the eligibility. So
That's a little higher than what we were anticipating, but not too terrible. So our expenditures are up approximately $122,000 for the month of October over last October. And that should say October of 24 because this is October of 25. Overall, our expenses exceed our revenues by about $844,000. Salary and benefits continue to be our largest expenditures. This month it was only 54,000 because, or 54% because we made those payments. So our overall expenditures were higher. So the salaries and benefits, of course, were lower. The current general fund balance is $11,863,000. Our encumbrances are about $2.8 million. So available cash balance is $8,974,409. The 070 Capital Projects Fund has $8,955,000. We have encumbrances about $1.2 million. That leaves us an unencumbered balance in that fund of $7.7 million. If we calculate the carryover balance per the cash policy, it is running about 35%. Again, December and January are really our lowest months. We will receive some income tax at the end of January. So up until that point, and then we'll also receive real estate tax. So the first of the year after we get through January will be our highest cash, and right now is our lowest cash for the year. So you'll see that seasonality based on when we receive those deposits. December's lowest, of course, because we make those payments in December and we don't have any offsetting revenue. The last real estate deposits we received were in July of this year. Okay, are there any questions on that report? Most likely next month we'll have an appropriations measure to catch up the grants, the additional grants. They did some allocations, create some kind of federal grants have been kind of a mess this year with federal appropriations, and ODE was trying to launch a new online program for them. So we've done grants twice this year. Had yet another meeting today about them. So with the uncertainty at the federal level, they're doing the best they can to make sure that we're still getting all of our money. But we'll have some more appropriations because they were able to allocate some funds. And I think that we actually too have applied for a state school bus safety grant. So we'll have that one. I'll need to get appropriated. And then I don't believe we have the fifth quarter grant yet when we did appropriations, when we did last appropriations. So, which is an FFA, a VOAG grant for the extended year. It's a small grant. Questions?
All right, is there a motion to approve financial reports? Roland moves, Susan seconds. Any other questions or discussion? All right, roll call.
Mrs. Song? Yes. Mrs. Young? Yes. Dr. Buckley?
Yes.
Mrs. Kingstock? Yes. Mr. Sharp?
Yes. Second item there is to approve a then and now purchase order to approve following expenditures, declaring at the time of the contract, the obligation was lawfully appropriated, was in the treasury of the appropriate fund, free from previous encumbrances, as listed there for all signs, RG and GFC. Is there a motion? Misty moves. Jeremy seconds. Discussion.
Dr. Buckley, second.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. These are two of these, All Signs and BOG, both were purchase orders, but we still had open at the end of the year, and we have closed those inadvertently and then received bills later on for those. So we did reopen a new purchase order, which technically makes them a then and now, but they are attached to ones that have been previously appropriated and accounted for. The GFS is Gordon Food Service, and we had
a month that ran over, and unfortunately, we weren't able to get the purchase order in, the requisition in fast enough. But we have worked out a way to make sure we do that in the future. So, the actual food we ordered was more than we were anticipating, if that makes sense. So we should have, at the time we ordered it, we should have put in the purchase order, and we didn't, food service didn't give us a heads up that she ordered more food that was on the thing. So we worked that out, and should not have that problem again.
Sounds like every time I go through the Kroger checkout.
Yeah, Kim has definitely got her hands full, because food is expensive, for sure.
Any other questions? All right, roll call.
Mrs. Finstock?
Yes.
Dr. Buckley?
Yes.
Mrs. Psalm?
Yes.
Mrs. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Sharp?
Yes. All right, thank you, Lana. That moves us on to consent agenda number 2 for personnel, which includes accepting resignations and retirements as listed, approving classified contracts for 25-26 as listed, approval of classified substitute contracts for 25 and 26 as listed, approving the education experience and or modification of hours, updates for the classified, a classified person there as listed, approving supplemental employment for 25-26, track coaches is listed, approving a correction to supplemental contract for 25-26 for Scott Isles, yearbook, approving a supplemental employment for 25-26 for coach, middle school basketball, 8th grade, and then finally approving volunteers for classroom as listed, and for athletics for cheerleading, basketball, and wrestling. Once again, as always, thank you to all the volunteers. So we very much appreciate that. Is there a motion for consent agenda number 2? Comments, moves, Jeremy seconds. Any discussion with any of those comments?
Excited to have another one that's come back for a bus driver. So,
Yeah, another roads, right?
backward.
All right. Roll call.
Mrs. Young?
Yes.
Dr. Buckley?
Yes.
Mrs. Finstock?
Yes.
Mrs. Psalm?
Yes.
Mr. Sharp?
Yes. And that takes us to new business. First new business item is to approve resident educator mentors for 25-26 as listed. Is there a motion? Robin moves, 50 seconds. Discussion?
I just appreciate the work that the mentors do with our new teachers. It's very beneficial. I think it gives an opportunity for leadership for our seasoned teachers. They're able to share some tricks of the trade with them. It's a huge support to our new teachers.
It's a good list there. Okay, all right. Roll call.
Mrs. Psalm?
Yes.
Mrs. Finstock?
Yes.
Dr. Buckley?
Yes.
Mrs. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Sharp?
Yes. Item B is to approve 6th grade field trip to Camp Muskingum, May 6th through May 8th of next year. Attachment 6, is there a motion? Misty moves, Jeremy seconds, discussion? And roll call.
Mrs. Finstock?
Yes.
Dr. Buckley?
Yes.
Mrs. Psalm?
Yes.
Mrs. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Sharp?
Yes. Item C is to approve resolution to continue membership in the South Central Ohio Insurance Consortium from July 1 of 26 through June 30 of 29. Your term. Is there a motion? Robin moves.
Second.
Susan seconds. Discussion?
It's an annual trip. It's
Trip.
resolution. Oh, okay, let's see.
We moved past Camp Muskingum. We're on to the consortium, South Central.
Oh, sorry. I was,
This is not, so if we would decide we were going to leave the consortium, we can still do that. It's more of an intent, so they know who the membership and how they continue to look for products and things for the consortium.
And this is health insurance for this.
It is health, dental, and vision.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Psalm?
Yes.
Mrs. Young?
Yes.
Dr. Buckley?
Yes.
Mrs. Pinkstock?
Yes.
Mr. Sharp?
Yes. Item D is to approve the FFA Top Fall fundraiser trip to Louisville, Kentucky, September 13th through 15th of 26. Is there a motion? Robin moves. Susan seconds. Discussion. This is definitely an annual trip. It's been happening since I was in school.
Man, that's a long time.
We rode a dinosaur. Kind of bumpy, but
I was totally covered wagon.
yeah, it was pulled by that. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Psalm?
Yes.
Mrs. Young?
Yes.
Dr. Buckley?
Yes.
Mrs. Pinkstock?
Yes.
Mr. Sharp?
Yes. Item E is to approve the after-school tutor, after-school detention supervisor as needed per the CBA tutor rate with the folks there as listed. Is there a motion? Misty moves.
Second.
Chairman seconds. Discussion. And roll call.
Mrs. Pinkstock?
Yes.
Dr. Buckley?
Yes.
Mrs. Psalm?
Yes.
Mrs. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Sharp?
Yes. Final item is to approve staff leave without pay as listed. Is there a motion? Is that Jeremy? Jeremy moves. Misty seconds. Discussion. And roll call.
Dr. Buckley?
Yes.
Mrs. Pinkstock?
Yes.
Mrs. Psalm?
Yes.
Mrs. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Sharp?
Yes. On to board discussion. Construction update.
Just progress, we're making our way through the punch list. And again, just the big thing is really having this weekend, so continuing to clean up loose ends and everything there.
I've had some community members ask about the concrete out front of the field house. There's a large chunk of that that's coming out, correct?
Yes.
Okay. But does that a spring event for the third time? Yes. Okay. But that's a spring event at this point, or?
Yes.
Okay. I figured I just wanted to.
Is it a tripping hazard? Like, is it?
Now it's pooling of water.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like.
Could be for the swim team, the AC swim team.
There you go.
That's
But we're not gonna heat it, so
Yeah, so
it could be ice skating.
it could be.
House for my grandchildren.
It could be.
Yeah.
Any other discussion regarding any of that? Anxious to have people out on Saturday to take a walk around, check it out, be excited about it as we are. Excited as I am, for sure.
Senator Schaefer
good
did
things.
respond, and he does believe he will make it. So we can see.
Did we hear anything from Mr. Miller?
He is not able to make it.
But he's going to send us a commendation.
Okay.
So,
Anything else with facility stuff, so forth? No, we've got the policy updates, first read.
you say that with so much.
So excited, you know, reading policy updates, I mean, especially since they're pretty much all just mandated
Yeah, mandated.
updates that need to be done based on law that's passed, so. Anybody have anything related to any of those that jumped out at you as a concern?
One thing that I would note is that you'll see that there's one for administering prescription drugs and another one for administering medications. Due to a law change, there was language specification for prescription medications. So that's why we had to add in, certain words in the prescription medication. Nothing has changed in our practice. It's just based upon the way law trickled down, had to be updated in our policies.
Anyone else have anything to add? Any other discussion items? If not, is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll second.
Probably moves, 50 seconds, discussion. Roll call.
Mrs. Psalm?
Yes.
Mrs. Pinkstock?
Yes.
Dr. Buckley?
Yes.
Mrs. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Sharp?
Yes. All right.
You're on one.
I know, just look at that, I know, it's like,
Everyone have a happy
Good.
Thanksgiving.
Are you and Sue okay with 6:30 that night instead of 6? The standing appointment that night I'd like to keep. I'm sorry. No, I have a standing appointment that night I'd like to keep.
That's Tuesday.
Yeah. And the board meeting's on Wednesday.